Alright, it is 90 degrees outside, and I'm doing a video on gun game. I know, after immediately uploading a Black Ops 6 video, we're doing a gun game video. That's because the topic I want to talk about is a little bit more commentary focused and not focused on the game, so that's why we're doing this. I'm gonna double back. Go. Now, what? Hello. Now, what could I be talking about that requires me to not be playing the game, really focus on the game that much? I have made videos in the past talking about how I've had fairly potent nightmares and stuff like that. Well, one happened recently that I decided to bring my dream journal back out. And I've always had this, I just don't use it that much due to the fact of I've either gotten used to it, but also none of them have stuck with me enough that I've been able to remember because I've forgotten. But this was the first time that a nightmare affected me in such a way that it affected how I was feeling. You piece of ass. But I've never had a nightmare affect me in such a way that I had it bleed into my morning in any way, in the sense of how I'm feeling, not necessarily in the sense of the dream itself. Now, for the sake of being clear, this happened a couple nights ago, and I am the type of person who, when it comes to anxiety and stuff like that, I'm usually take it very seriously. I usually try to avoid letting anxiety, as well as I work in retail, letting people get to me. But this is the one time that I somehow lost control over myself for a bit and let it get to me and let the words of somebody that I interacted with get to me a bit, and it set off an anxiety attack to the point where I felt awful, and it felt really, really bad. Now, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this whole thing, right? I had this entire dream start off with it being effectively my trip to Boston. Now, it's relevant, because in a week I will be in Boston on a trip, and its general anxiety surrounding it has been not super high, but high enough that it's concerning enough that I makes sense that I was having a dream about it. Now, that's not where this is going to kind of go on into. My girlfriend's flying in, basically paying us a visit to actually take part in this trip, as opposed to it just being the normal group that we have. That's relevant because the entire dream was about the idea of, unfortunately, because my brain decides to think of every possible worst-case scenario, that something happened on our way over here. Now, again, I know this probably won't happen. It's a 1 in a million chance. But it's still that whole, my brain kind of my brain's anxiety works on this. Oh, but it could. You don't know that it won't, but it could. It could. You don't know that it won't. This is how my brain is always going. I hate that that's how my brain works, and it drives me mad. But I had this happen, and I was not feeling great when I woke up. I felt like crap. I wanted to go back to... weirdly enough, I wanted to go back to bed to see if I could try and effectively have a better night's sleep. Because that's the first time I had a dream fully not only take me out of it, but feel like I didn't wake up. Although I suffer from sleep apnea, so it's probably just that on top of everything. But still. I ended up waking up, and oh my. And basically went on with my day, because I worked that day, so I decided to go along with it. And I was talking with a coworker at one point, and kind of mentioned that I have to basically, the next couple weeks are going to be really long, having to basically wait until this day rolls around that I get to go on this trip and all that. And for some godforsaken reason, somebody decided to pipe in and just say, like, oh, like, like, I have no idea what prompted it, but this random customer basically walks up and was kind of trying to start a conversation. And I don't know what prompted it, but they said, I hope it all goes wrong. Like, I hope every single thing you're excited for goes wrong. And it's like, I don't know why they did it. I don't know if I did something that set them off. I don't know what happened in general that caused them to be mean or whatever. But normally, a situation like this, I wouldn't let affect me. However, this is the one time that I did. And I don't know why it did. But that entire day, after that interaction, I was just bridled with the anxiety of that coming true. Not because of the fact that it was a dream, but because of the fact that it's almost as if somebody brought it up because they knew that that happened in my sleep. So I was constantly riddled with anxiety about it. I was, not to say so worried that it was going to happen, but I was just constantly riddled with anxiety. It's like, what's going to go wrong to prevent this from happening? What's going to ruin this trip and make this trip basically completely awful, right? And fast forward to the next day, because thankfully I had the day off as we were recording this yesterday. It happened Saturday going to Sunday. And I just decided to, like, not worry about it, not think about it, not do anything related to it, and thankfully it didn't really affect me too much. But it's kind of what I want to talk about is just the fact that it's crazy that just all it takes is one bad person to kind of make my mental health spiral out of control and go to a point that I genuinely felt so helpless. And I'm someone who tries to prioritize mental health over everything. If something's making you feel awful in terms of your mental health, don't force yourself to, like, interact with that. If something's making you feel better with your mental health and you know it makes you feel better, then interact with it. That whole kind of thing. It's like if something's making you feel awful, step away. Maybe you'll come back and maybe you'll enjoy it a little bit better, and vice versa with the inverse. But I had never in my life gotten to a point where all I wanted to do was just not be around. And it's not like I wanted to expire, just to put it lightly. It's that I just wanted to not be seen. I wanted to be non-existent. I wanted to just be, like, not there, if that makes sense. I wanted to just be invisible for, like, a couple of days. Like, I didn't want anyone to talk to me. I didn't want anyone to know I existed. I just wanted to be invisible for a couple of days. And I'm gonna be honest, the only reason why I even want to talk about this is because the fact of, again, I don't take any of my friends for granted. And the fact that I have people I can call my friends, and the fact that I do this entire YouTube thing as effectively a side hobby to help with my mental health is what really makes living worth it. Now, that being said, I'm going to continue one more game while I talk about this a little bit more in depth, like slightly more in depth. But generally speaking, I very much like to take pride in the fact of I'm still here, still moving on, still doing what I can, where I can. I know some people don't have that luxury. Some people's families have been ruined by mental health issues and stuff like that. So I basically want to kind of say that, like, you're never alone. Reach out to, even if you don't think they'll respond, reach out to somebody who you know you can trust. Reach out to anyone. If that first person doesn't respond to you, reach out to somebody. You never know what might happen. You never know if reaching out to that one person could be the difference maker in making your life better. You never really know. It's why I have friends like Evie and my whole friend group that I have for Dead by Daylight, and I have my friend group with Destiny. I try to always have people that I can reach, that if I need to reach out and talk to someone, somebody is almost always available. I know some people don't have that luxury. Some people don't have the luxury of having friends in general. Some people don't have the luxury of being able to reach out to people and have someone that they can rely on to confidently talk about these problems with. And I'm not necessarily saying that I'm volunteering for you guys, but I'm advocating for doing it whether or not you have people or not. If it's a family, even if it's a family member that you want to talk to, sometimes that's all. If that's all you have, that's all you have. That being said, I still find myself some days still having that feeling, even before this day. And sometimes that's just how it is. Sometimes that will just happen. And that's why, I always just kind of say, just take it every day, one day at a time. Don't worry about what's going to happen in your future if it's not important. Don't worry about what's going to happen at all if it's not important. All it's going to matter is that you're still here and you're still kicking and you're still doing what's right. That being said, again, I do want to apologize for this video being a little bit more somber. There would have been a little blurb at the beginning, text. But again, just sometimes having a friend that you can talk to, whether it's somebody, even if you don't talk to them frequently, even if you don't necessarily want to have it be a long-term conversation. Sometimes all you need is just to have one conversation with somebody that will make you do something that you will regret. That's sometimes all you need. That's why I basically always try to advocate for people who suffer from these problems. And one of the things I want to do for sure is definitely do a charity stream one day for that type of thing and help people like that get the help that they need. I know I wouldn't be here for my friends, but also having resources that I wouldn't normally have if not for the fact that I told someone that I was feeling this way. But again, I'll basically end off the video by saying, again, take care of yourself. Your mental health is more important than anyone else's. Well, not really, but take care of yourself. Your mental health matters. Don't put yourself in a worse situation because of someone else. But also try to be there for someone who may need it. You never know if that one conversation you have with somebody is the final conversation you have with somebody. You never know. Sometimes that one conversation is all it takes to help. But yeah. I'll see you guys tomorrow with more Sonic Unleashed. I have been trying to prep ahead for a series because of obviously the trip that I mentioned, but also just because I just want to prep ahead because I feel like it'll be easier on my mental health to be farther ahead. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys for your live stream or whatever I said to make. Everybody, stay safe.